Yes, this is the EFL TV agenda for Week 17 in the Eastern Football League. 2 weeks to go until the Choose Tap final series. We are very excited here in the EFL offices. One man who's finding it very hard to contain his excitement at the moment is Peter Frosty Baird, and he joins us for the EFL TV agenda. Hello, Frosty.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ben. Fantastic to be here talking about all things EFL early in the week. Let's start talking about some of those issues and who the big movers and winners from the weekend.
Oh, a big mover and a big winner on the weekend was the South Croydon Football Club. The biggest win in their Eastern Football League club history. No doubt about that. This is how the final moments played out at Cheong Park on the weekend. So a little bit of confusion at the end with the scoreboard there, Frosty, but the boys in the scoreboard got it right in the end. Nonetheless, South Croydon knew they'd won the game. Great celebrations. That's a huge win.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. They show they are actually not invincible, yes. The Baldwin Football Club. Fantastic result, though, for the Doggies, and that really helps them in their battle to retain that fifth spot on the ladder. They're under a lot of pressure from the two clubs right behind them in Roval and Lilydale, who both had fantastic wins on the weekend. As I said, it's probably the best win ever from the South Croydon Footy Club in their Division 1 history.
Oh, magnificent effort, and well done to Damien Franken, who'd be up there for Coach of the Year at the moment. The job that he's been able to do, Frosty, with this South Croydon playing groups are quite remarkable.
Oh, it is. And that's a really great effort from Damien Franken. I mean, you think about it, he took over that job halfway through last year when Ben Delarue parted the kennel out there at Cheong Park. Yep. He inherited a playing group that wasn't in great form. He's worked with them. And to get the results they're now achieving, it's a fantastic reward from effort from Damien Franken.
And, of course, it throws a bit of a big cat amongst the pigeons as well, because South Croydon probably expected to go down to Baldwin. Roval and Lilydale also winning. So those three sides, as we have a look at the run home for these sides, Roval, Lilydale and South Croydon all won on the weekend. They're also a chance to make that fifth spot.
They are, and it just keeps the pressure on them. They just need to keep winning. Some crunch games this weekend. Roval take on a rejuvenated Knox, who have been very good in the last fortnight, pushing Norwood and only just going down to Lilydale last weekend.
What about Baldwin and Noble Park this weekend, Frosty? That's a massive game. Of course, 1 versus 3 on the Division 1 ladder at the moment. But Noble Park has been the team, well, besides South Croydon last week, they really pushed Baldwin on the Queen's birthday weekend.
Yeah, we were out there at Pat Wright Senior Oval on that Queen's birthday weekend. We saw Noble Park push Baldwin right to the last few minutes of the game. I reckon they're with a huge chance this weekend. Although since Daniel Donati's joined the Baldwin Tigers, they don't seem to lose games out there at Baldwin Park anymore. No. So the Bulls might have the work in front of them this weekend. I reckon Baldwin will get over the line still, Ben.
One thing, though, Frosty, I will not be tipping against Baldwin for the rest of the year.
You don't want that little call from Luke Barker during the week?
I'll be right. Let's have a look at the Division 2 ladder, Frosties. We talk about all things Division 2, and there's movement not at the station, but at the bottom of Division 2, Frosty, because Upper Ferntree Gully no longer on the bottom of Division 2, and as most expected, Donvale now occupy that 10th spot in Division 2, despite both teams losing last weekend. We're out there for Upper Gully. They were good for the first half, dropped off in the second half, but Donvale continued to go from bad to worse, and they're the likely favourites to go now.
They are, as you said, there was definitely movement at the bottom of the ladder, and word certainly did pass around the Mulgrave Football Club as the Upper Gully boys, they took a little bit of solace in their defeat in the knowledge that they had actually crept themselves off the bottom of the ladder. Donvale going down to Murrelbach by substantially more than what Upper Gully did to Mulgrave on the weekend. I reckon Donvale, they've got a lot of work to do. I reckon they're bound for Division 3 next year. I reckon Upper Gully are safe at the moment.
Yeah, that's the way it looks at the moment. We go from the bottom of Division 2, the top of Division 2, and North Ringwood and Croydon played last weekend. Quite excited about this game we were last week, but North Ringwood got the chocolates in the end, and it's now almost impossible for Croydon to register a double chance. Maybe a bit of an opportunity gone begging in the past couple of weeks for the Blues, but well done to the Saints at the same time.
Yeah, North Ringwood, they're a fantastic story as well. Coming up from Division 3 last year, they were probably a Division 2 side playing in Division 3 for the last couple of years. They've taken their opportunities. That was a must-win game for them if they wanted to have any chance of securing that double chance. As you said, I reckon Croydon have kissed that opportunity goodbye now. It's now battling 3 teams for those top 2 spots.
Let's have a look at the Division 3 ladder, Frosty, and like the Division 2 ladder, there's been movement at the bottom of Division 3 with Whitehorse Pioneers defeating Warrandyte in the weekend. The Bloods now find themselves on the bottom of the Division 3 ladder, And looking at that, looking at the percentage gap as well, they're the likely favourites to go down. Maybe not all quite over. They do have a game against the Glen Waverley Hawks in round 18, but the Pioneers have put themselves in position A to stay up once again.
Not only did they have a good win, they had a very good win. That's an excess of 10-goal win by the Whitehorse Pioneers, and they really announced themselves as making a statement that they want to be in Division 3 next year. The problem for mine with Warrandyte is they've had more points scored against them than any other team in across the Eastern Football League this year. So they do leak goals at that end of the ground. I reckon Whitehorse are probably better positioned to stay in Division 3, but yeah, fantastic result there from the Pioneers. Warrandyte, boys, it's not over yet. You've still got a couple of games to go. We'll see what you've got in those last couple of weeks. It's not on the line. It's on the line. But we saw Whitehorse Pioneers avoid relegation in the last round this year. Perhaps the Bloods have got that up their sleeve still.
I know the Bloods are very, very keen to stay up there. I was talking to Tommy Norton during the weekend. He knows that it's not over for the Bloods yet. So best of luck to them in the next couple of weeks. And best of luck to anyone coming up against the top 4 teams at the moment, Frosty, because in Division 3, they are killing it at the moment. They currently all sit on 13 wins, all competing for that double chance, all competing for the top spot as well. All 4 teams had big wins last weekend, really announcing to the rest of the competition that it's going to be hard for the premiership to come out of that 5th position.
It certainly is. And when we looked at the run home last week, the run home each of these 4 teams, they've all had very, very big wins. So they know the importance of percentage is going to play. They've all got 13 wins for the year now. So it could come down to a percentage battle. So that big win by Mitcham in excess of 20 goals, that really helps boost their percentage. They're still in 4th spot on the ladder, but they're closing that gap on some of those other teams. They've got a really tough run home though. They've got Baronia this week. They've got Doncaster in the last round. If they win both of those, well, I reckon the Tigers are the real deal and you can't write them off for that flag aspirations.
And the ladder positions, well, we think they're pretty good in the first 3 divisions, Frosty, but in Division 4, it's arguably the most intriguing. We have a look at the Division 4 ladder. All 4 teams that we had a look at who are a chance to make that 5th position all recorded victories in round 16 of the EFL. Probably none bigger, I reckon, than Coldstream knocking off Sylvan. That was probably the upset out of a lot of them. But Park Orchards knocking off Kilsyth was a great effort. Surrey and Forest still expected to get those victories. But it just goes to show how even this Division 4 competition is this season.
What I was really impressed with that Coldstream win, though, they came from in excess of 3 goals down at halftime to kick 9 goals to 3 in the second half to really blow that game wide open. Sylvan stopped in that second half. So to turn the 21-point halftime deficit into a 20-point victory, that's a phenomenal effort there by the Cougars. They're sort of hitting their peak form right at the right time of the year. They started off the year very slowly, but I reckon Matt Price's boys, they've got a sniff of finals action. They could be the Smoky. We saw Baldwin go all the way from the 4th position last year. Don't write off Coldstream. I reckon they could be the team that pushes South Belgrave coming into the finals.
Yeah, they play the Eastern Lions this weekend, then they've got South Belgrave the week after, so that's what's probably going to make it difficult for them.
It is. South Belgrave, they're just going from strength to strength. I mean, they haven't dropped a game yet. Are they going to drop a game yet? They've still got 2 to play.
Well, they've got a big one this weekend. They come up against Ferntree Gully, who are the second-place team and have been the second-place team throughout the whole season. Of course, in the Black Caviar Day earlier on in the season, we're up there at Belgrave South Recreation Reserve, and we saw the Saints just put on a masterclass. They were outstanding that day. A bit different this time round. A couple of weeks before finals, might be not quite on their game. Ferntree Gully, I reckon, are a bit of a chance this weekend.
Yeah, I put the heat on Dean Burnell in the pre-game, that one against the Ferntree Gully, when they played Ferntree Gully. Yes. I think South Belgrave bring their best football when they play the best opposition in the competition. They maybe go to sleep against some of the teams that they expect to beat. I reckon they'll be right on their game this weekend because Ferntree Gully are a team they're going to play in the finals, and they want to send that message loud and clear that they are the team in the box seat to take home that Division 4 flag.
We have the EFL TV agenda done and dusted, Peter Baird. So many great games this weekend, so many just gone. It's been great to wrap it all up and preview it here on the EFL TV agenda. The radio game this week is, well, we talk about Baldwin and Oval Park being the biggest game in Division 1. Norwood and South Croydon is massive, particularly after the Dogs knocked over Baldwin last week. Looking forward to heading out to Mullum for this one.
I am, and I'm looking forward to heading out to the President's Lunch at the Norwood Football Club before the game. But this is an absolutely crunch game. South Croydon need to keep winning. They knocked over the best in the business in Baldwin last week. They come up against another top 4 side this weekend in Norwood. They just need to keep getting those 4 points to secure that final spot in Division 1.
Did you invite yourself to that President's Lunch?
This time I actually didn't.
Congratulations, Peter Baird. I'm sure you'll enjoy that lunch, and I'm sure you'll enjoy a big game at Mullum Reserve on the weekend. 98.1 FM from 1 till 6 p.m. and EFL.org.au. Frosty, we'll see you next week.
You certainly will.
We'll see you next week.